we do see the tide turning, as I alluded to earlier, over in transitioning of youth space. Not in the US yet. Hopefully that will happen soon. But the infamous Tavistock Gender Identity Clinic in England, it is the big gender identity clinic, and it has taken a lot of flack from a lot of good people who have gotten no end of flack in return, has been ordered to shut down by next spring. Now,
wow.
Why by next spring? Why not right now? But okay, it's been ordered to be shut down, and this is extraordinary. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I just want to point out that the idea that this clinic is apparently engaged in procedures that are egregious enough that it needs to be shut down raises exactly the question about, if it needs to be shut down, what about the procedures that happen between now and when it is shut down?
Right.
And this is reminiscent of what happened as mandates were lifted over COVID. And so I want to point out, this is now a hallmark of how Goliath behaves when it's caught red-handed, right? So it can be caught. It can be forced to change course. It cannot be forced to admit that it is changing course. And the way it makes it appear that it's just simply involved in something normal rather than a tacit admission that it was full of shit is that it sets a timeline which makes it seem like, oh, this is just another, bureaucratic date on the calendar, rather than, oh my God, this clinic has been injuring young people and needs to stop yesterday, not a month from now.
Much less, 8 months or, whenever spring counts as, I don't know, beginning of spring is still, 7-8 months away?
Yeah.
More than that.
So I don't know. I mean, we need better language for this, but Goliath sucks is basically where I am with it.
Yeah. Goliath sucks, and it hides behind its own bureaucracy in order to maintain a semblance of business as usual.
That's just the thing. It has this is boring, business as usual. There's something in the future. It's not that it's happening tomorrow because we suddenly realize we're maiming children.
Yeah. Exactly. So there are a lot of pieces of this story, and it is. I will link to several of these in the show notes, and we're not going to talk a whole lot about it now. But I will show you, for instance, I first heard about this from the Genspect press release, which you can show here, which is quite careful and has all of these links on it. So Genspect is an excellent organization, which is at the forefront of the conclusion that we should not be transitioning children, and that we should not be encouraging children to question what they are on the basis of a fleeting, flight of fancy. But among what they have here, actually, if I may, Zachary, have my screen back for a moment. Thank you. They've got a Times of London article here. Tavistock Gender Clinic forced to shut over safety fears. This is published just a few days ago, July 28th. The NHS, the National Health Service in England, is shutting down its gender identity clinic for children after a review found that it failed vulnerable under 18s. It has been ordered to close, exactly as you said, and this is due to a report put out by pediatrician Dr. Hilary Cass, who is leading a review of the service. And I also have that review, which I will post to the show notes. It's very long. It's very detailed. She and her team went and did interviews and assessments and all sorts of the right sorts of investigations as to whether or not this clinic, which has been patently hurting children for a long time now, should continue to be the one and only place that children who are presenting with some kind of gender dysphoria in Great Britain should be sent to. And the conclusion was a resounding no. No, they should not. So, there need to be more options. There need to be more options besides affirmative care, which is if you wake up one day and say you're a turtle, you're a turtle. Nope, not that. If you wake up one day and say you're a toaster, you're a toaster. Nope, not that. If you wake up one day and say you're the sex that you are not, well, then yes, we have just the puberty blockers and then cross-sex hormones and then surgery for you. It's insane, and finally it is stopping, at least in Great Britain.